Everyone's American Gothic parody is going to be so different, but here's some important things you need to think about. Your paper is going to be tall, vertical. This painting is also very tall and vertical. If I'm looking at how close these figures' heads are to the top of the paper, I'm actually going to put a little guideline. The guy's head is stretching about that high up. The woman's head is a little bit lower. So whatever you're putting in these spots needs to be quite large. The man's shoulder overlaps in front of the woman. So I'm going to draw this object first. So just for this little demonstration, I am going to make a salt and pepper shaker. So I am making the tops of the salt and pepper shaker quite large. The man's is going to be in front. So I'm going to kind of color that one first, or draw that one first. And I am making it so large it goes off the bottom of the paper. Notice we cannot see his knees, his feet. He's so large he takes up all that space. If you're drawing a little bit smaller and your feet of your object touch the bottom, that's fine, but we don't want them so small that they're kind of floating in the middle of our paper. The bigger you draw, the less detail you actually have to get in there. I don't have to worry about all that stuff at the bottom. So I have these two figures, they're overlapping just like in the picture. They're taking up that space. So obviously if I'm making them salt and pepper, that's where I can start to kind of add their detail in. So maybe this is the pepper. I could make these letters fancier, but this is just my sketch on this colored paper. Important things you have to have in this picture. You have to have something with that window shape. So maybe it's in the kitchen, and instead of a house, I am going to draw more of an oven shape. And I can't see much of it because these salt and pepper shakers are so big. Maybe I have the dials of the oven. And then the clock, I'm going to turn the clock into that window. I'm thinking about how I can fit that in. I have to have that point. Have it come down. I have to have those crossbars. That's really important. But maybe it's a little bit wider, and maybe I have numbers here like the clock on the oven. Salt and pepper shaker, it is in the kitchen. I'm going to stick with just that pitchfork in the middle. You don't have to have the pitchfork. You can have other objects that make sense. If you have other space, you could add things in the background. There's trees and another building in here. Obviously, my oven is so big it went off the side of the paper, so I don't have a lot of room. This is just my sketch. I did not spend a ton of time making this perfect because now I'm ready to transfer this, draw this better, more detailed on that nice white paper. That's our finished project. This is just the practice one. On that nice finished paper, you're starting in pencil first, outlining with marker, permanent marker, and then coloring how you would like. Markers, crayons, or colored pencils. We've seen lots of examples on the smartboard, so you can kind of decide what makes the most sense in your work.